Let's start with your client agreements or those standard terms and conditions. The most critical legal shift for a maturing business is moving from just accepting whatever contract your client sends you to proactively presenting your own standard terms. As your business grows, you need to transition from passively agreeing to a client's terms and conditions, which are often negotiated and drafted to favor them, to presenting your own professionally reviewed and regularly updated professional services agreement or standard terms and conditions or whatever that key document is that you use for your particular products or services. This is especially true if your clients are larger business entities. These guys will often send very generic agreements for vendors like you to sign. Doing so, it saves their in-house counsel all kinds of time. They don't have to go and negotiate every single time this big company brings in some sort of a vendor. But these form documents tend to be very one-sided, especially when it comes to key issues like protecting your intellectual property. If your client sends you their standard vendor contract, it often says that everything you create belongs to them. But that doesn't work if you're a consultant who provides similar content and similar consulting services to other clients. Standardizing the payment terms. Have you ever received a contract that says your client will pay you 30, 60, or even 90 days after the job is done, and then only if they're satisfied with your work, in their sole discretion, of course? Those are the kind of one-sided terms that you shouldn't just be signing automatically. Clearly defining the scope of work. So many contract disputes boil down to this lazy mistake. When we go back and look at the scope of work, oftentimes it doesn't clearly define exactly what done is. And the result is scope creep. Your client is asking for more and more, whether it's more services or more revisions to the project, and suddenly you're putting in way more time and effort than the job you actually priced. Setting consistent limitations on liability. A well-drafted contract will limit the extent of your liability in the event of a dispute. But if this portion of the contract is missing or isn't done right because you relied on some cheap internet form document, you might find yourself facing a breach of contract case where your disgruntled client or customer is seeking damages, not just for the value of the contract, but all kinds of tangential claims for lost profits or lost data or the cost of finding a replacement vendor to provide the services at the last minute. Your standard terms should address these issues explicitly. They should include clear warranties and disclaimers and termination clauses just in case the customer or client relationship doesn't work out. We always go into these situations with the best of intentions, but good intentions aren't really a legal defense.